Bieniemy was seriously injured after a shooting at her Virginia home on Sunday. At first, very few details were known. Then investigators revealed an update that shocked many. Authorities say 57-year-old Bieniemy suffered multiple gunshot wounds and was rushed to the hospital. According to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office, officers responded to the family home in Ashburn after reports of a shooting. As the investigation unfolded, officials arrested Eric Bieniemy and Bieniemy's son, Elijah Bieniemy. He now faces charges including malicious wounding, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and discharging a firearm inside a dwelling. At the time of the incident, Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy was reportedly in Missouri with the team during training camp. The Chiefs later confirmed they were aware of the incident involving his family. Police have not released additional details about what led to the shooting. The investigation remains ongoing as loved ones hope for Bieniemy's recovery.
Ooh, that's tough, man. When your adult child becomes dangerous, have a seat for a minute, because this conversation is uncomfortable, but it needs to happen. I'm Aaron. I go by the name Aaron Real Talk. Y'all make sure you hit the like, the share, the follow button one time for the algorithm, right? This conversation needs to happen, right? Every single day I hear from parents and grandparents whose adult children are verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, financially abusive, and sometimes physically abusive. And almost every single one of them says the same thing. They say the same damn thing. They're just going through something. They didn't mean it. They had a hard life. That's my child. Today, we're hearing about the shooting involving the Bieniemy family. According to authorities, Bieniemy was seriously injured after being shot inside of her Virginia home. Police arrested her adult son, Elijah Bieniemy, who now faces multiple felony charges. Authorities have not released a motive, and the investigation is still going on. And I'm not here to speculate. Let me start off by saying that I'm happy that Bieniemy is doing better in the hospital and she's on her way to recovery, right? I'm not here to tell you why it happened, because none of us know. But I do want to talk about something I know is happening in homes all across America. Parents are living in fear of their own adult children. Nobody wants to admit it, especially parents, because admitting your own child intimidates you feels like admitting you failed. Right? It isn't, though. I cannot tell you how many messages I receive that sound almost identical. Aaron, my son punches holes in the wall. My daughter screams in my face. My grandson is terrified of being punished, so he hits me whenever he gets upset. They threaten me if I don't give them money. They take my Social Security. They destroyed my house. They call me every name that you can think of that you would consider to be derogatory. All right? And then they'll end the message with, but they're really, really a good person. That don't even make no damn sense, y'all. You know, maybe they have good qualities. Maybe they have trauma. Maybe they struggle with addiction. Maybe they have untreated mental illness. Maybe all of these things are true, but abuse is still abuse. Abuse is still abuse. One of the biggest lies parents tell themselves is, it hasn't gotten that bad. And a lot of times I believe as parents, we just think it can't happen to us. Well, he done did this and he done did that, but I don't think he'll take it to that level, right? Until it does. Until it does. Violence almost never starts with violence. It starts with disrespect, then intimidation, then manipulation, then threats, then property damage, then shoving, then hitting, then sometimes something no family ever imagined would happen. I'm not saying every difficult adult child becomes violent. I'm saying every parent needs to stop ignoring the warning signs because they cannot imagine their child crossing that line, right? Love can blind you. Guilt can blind you. Hope can blind you. I've watched parents lose their retirement because they kept rescuing an abusive adult child. I've watched grandparents lose access to grandchildren because they refuse to establish boundaries. I've watched marriages collapse because one spouse kept allowing an abusive adult child back into the home. Parents say something to me all the time. Aaron, if I don't help them, who will? Can I ask you something? Who's helping you? Who's protecting you? Who's making sure you're safe? Because somewhere along the way, parents started believing that loving your child means sacrificing yourself. And it doesn't. Love does not require you to become someone's punching bag. Not emotionally, not financially, and damn sure not physically. And here's another hard truth. Your adult child being your child does not remove consequences. If they're stealing from you, there should be consequences. And y'all know my consequences, lock their ass up. If they're threatening you, there should be consequences. Once again, lock their ass up. If they're assaulting you, there should be that. Listen, if they're assaulting you, I'm from Texas, y'all. And I'm going to tell you like this. We got to stop looking at our children, the ones who now are adults, and say to ourselves, man, that's the little Johnny, that's the little Billy, that's the little Leroy who I raised. And understand, you dealing with a grown ass man who has changed over the years. You're not dealing with your little loving toddler son. This person you dealing with right now is an evil spirit. This person can harm you, right? This person can harm you. Too many parents confuse boundaries with abandonment. Those are not the same thing. You can love someone deeply and still refuse to let them destroy your life. Some of you watching this right now are scared. Scared. Not because your child lives across the country, because they live in your house. You scared, you terrified in your own house. I talked to a lady who was telling me she locks her bedroom doors because she's scared of what her son may do to her. You walking on eggshells. You walking on eggshells in your own house. You're afraid to say no. You hiding your wallet. You're hiding your medication. You're afraid they'll explode. If that's you, I want you to hear me clearly. You deserve to be safe. Being a parent does not mean surrendering your right to safety. It doesn't matter if they're 18, 28, 38, or 58. If someone is abusing you, that behavior needs to be taken seriously. Needs to be taken seriously. Today, I'm praying for the Bieniemy family. I'm praying for healing, and I'm praying for truth. And I'm praying for this story. I'm praying that this story becomes a wake-up call for parents who have been minimizing dangerous behavior because they feel or they keep telling themselves everything is okay, and they won't do that. They'd never do that. Most families who experience tragedy once believe exactly the same thing. Right? They once believed exactly the same thing. And listen, man, if this video speaks to you, share it. There are parents sitting alone right now wondering if they're overreacting. Maybe this conversation gives them permission to protect themselves, because protecting your peace, protecting your home, and protecting your life does not mean you stop loving your child. Sometimes it means you finally started loving yourself enough to say, enough is enough. Oh man, y'all, this is a hard story for me right here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's a hard story. Like I say, I'm praying for Eric Bieniemy, Mia Bieniemy, and the whole Bieniemy family. And like I say, any of you parents out here right now that are dealing with adult children that's living with you, even if they're not living with you, they've been violent with you before, man, take heed. Understand who you dealing with now. You know, protect yourself at all costs. This is not the young child that you raised. This is not your infant, this is not your infant sweet baby. This is a grown man, a grown woman who has changed, who has been out here in the world, who has changed. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. We got to stop getting to that. We got to start getting to the point to where we realize that, you know what? This is not the same person that I raised, and protect yourself at all costs. Once again, y'all, my name is Aaron. I go by the name of Aaron Real Talk. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Make sure you hit that like, follow, and share button one time for the algorithm. And y'all make sure y'all protect yourself at all costs, man. Y'all have a great rest of your day.